everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Jenny, and as always, I'm here with Mark, our resident tech guru.
Hey Jenny, great to be back. And yeah, Guru might be pushing it, but I do love this stuff.
Laughs. Well, you definitely know more than most of us. So today we're diving into something that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. Qualcomm's AI first vision. What's the deal, Mark?
Oh man, this is the cool part. So Qualcomm, right? They're the folks behind a lot of the tech in our phones and, increasingly, our cars. And they're basically saying, hey, AI isn't just an add-on anymore, it's the foundation. They're calling it their AI first approach.
Okay, AI first. So not just sprinkling a little AI on top, but baking it into the whole recipe?
Exactly. It's like, you know when you bake a cake, you don't just put the frosting on top, you mix the ingredients together. Qualcomm is doing that with AI and smart devices. It all starts with these new processors they've designed.
Right, like that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 that we've been hearing about? I read that it's supposed to do some pretty wild stuff with cameras.
Oh yeah, the camera stuff is wild. So basically, the 8 Gen 3 has this AI engine built in. And it's not just taking a picture, it's understanding the picture. Like, it can adjust settings on the fly based on the lighting, the subject, even what kind of scene it is. It is kind of like having a pro photographer in your pocket.
That's incredible. So it's not just taking a better picture, it's anticipating what I want the picture to look like?
Precisely. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This AI engine can also do things like real-time language translation, voice assistance, all sorts of fancy stuff. It is really a step forward.
Hold up. Can we break down the whole AI engine thing? Is that just a fancy term for, like, a really fast processor?
Great question. So it's a part of the processor, but it's specifically designed for AI tasks. Think of it like a dedicated brain within the brain, just for artificial intelligence. It crunches those complex AI algorithms way faster and more efficiently than a regular processor could.
Okay, that makes sense. So this AI engine is what allows the phone to do all that fancy on-device processing without having to send data to the cloud?
Right, and that's a huge deal for privacy, by the way. Because your data isn't constantly going back and forth to some server, it's more secure. I was just reading about how on-device AI is a big priority for Qualcomm. They see it as a way to keep user data safer.
That's fascinating. But it's not just about phones, right? I saw something about Qualcomm's Snapdragon Auto platform for cars.
Oh yeah, the automotive stuff is where things get really interesting. So they're taking that same AI first idea and putting it into cars. Imagine a car that can understand your voice commands perfectly, navigate in real time, even anticipate potential hazards on the road.
So, like a super smart co-pilot?
Exactly. And it's all powered by AI. The Snapdragon Auto platform is designed to, optimize the entire driving experience. I read that they're even working on advanced driver assistance systems. Things like lane keeping, adaptive cruise control, but way more sophisticated.
You know what this reminds me of? Those futuristic movies where the cars are practically driving themselves? Are we actually getting close to that?
We're definitely getting closer. I mean, full self-driving is still a ways off, but these AI-powered features are laying the groundwork. It's kind of like each new advancement is a stepping stone towards that future.
It's exciting, but also a little bit scary, right? Like handing over that much control to a machine.
Totally get that. And that's why it's so important that companies like Qualcomm are focusing on the safety and security aspects. They have to make sure these systems are reliable and trustworthy before they become mainstream.
Speaking of trustworthy, I have to ask the obvious question. What about the potential downsides? Could all this AI integration lead to, unintended consequences?
That's a valid concern. And one that the industry is still figuring out. Things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, even the potential for job displacement. These are all issues that need careful consideration there. There was this AI researcher, John Doe, who was talking about the importance of making AI more personal. But he also emphasized that it needs to be responsible.
Yeah, like that quote from the Qualcomm representative we saw in the research. Our innovations prioritize user experience, data privacy, and performance, a significant shift towards a more connected and intelligent world. It sounds good on paper, but it's a huge responsibility to actually follow through on that.
Absolutely. It is kind of like walking a tightrope. You want to push the boundaries of what's possible, but you also have to be mindful of the potential pitfalls. Now, And that's where, regulations, ethical guidelines, and public discourse all come into play.
So what's the bottom line here? Is Qualcomm's AI-first vision a good thing, a bad thing, or somewhere in between?
I think it's definitely a good thing, with the potential for some amazing advancements. But it's not without its challenges. I'd say it's a journey, and we're still in the early stages. They are estimating that by 2026, 70% of all smart devices will have some form of AI integration. That is huge.
Wow, that's a lot of AI. Well, one thing's for sure. It's going to be a fascinating ride. And it will be interesting to see how this all plays out in the next few years. What about things like extended reality and smart cities? I know that those are some future developments that Qualcomm is looking at.
Oh, for sure. I was reading that they are looking to integrate XR technologies with AI. Can you imagine an AI that can create a custom 3D model for an immersive XR experience? The possibilities are endless. And with smart cities, I could optimize traffic flow, predict energy consumption, and enhance public safety. It is all very exciting stuff.
It sounds like we're on the cusp of a major technological shift. Thanks for breaking it all down for us, Mark. This has been incredibly insightful.
My pleasure, Jenny. Anytime. This stuff is just too cool not to share. And, it's always fun to nerd out about it a little.
Well, you do it well. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into the world of tech. Until then, stay curious.